Nobody's fooling the Chinese language newspapers all over the country when there are episodes of the fellas targeting Chinese immigrants, Asian immigrants. The new Chinese language newspapers, Asian language newspapers are very explicit about who's doing the targeting and who are the targets. It's the fellas targeting the Asian people. It was just a couple weeks ago where in Washington, D.C., one of the ambassadors at the Chinese embassy in Washington put out a tweet, something to the effect of everybody knows that Southeast Washington, D.C. is not a safe place for white people because black people are, violent towards white people. Susan Rice, President Obama's old advisor, she got all pissed off and said if she were still there, she would have kicked that dude out of the country for telling the truth about black on Asian violence.
Shocking surveillance video. This is just lighting up social media. It shows the suspects literally just ripping off the homeowner's security door by hand, then kicking through the bottom half of the front door. Now today, earlier in our newscast, we introduce you to one victim of a very similar home invasion. Well, tonight, even more victims are speaking out, and some are claiming there are hundreds of those kind of robberies, and it's happening to Asians in South Sacramento neighborhoods.
So just because the Chinese language papers say it, that doesn't mean the Chinese politicians say it when they're in office here. I mean, how many stories have we done on black people targeting Asian people all over the country? Houston, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, Chicago, Cleveland. Lots and lots of, that's a short list. Lots and lots of documentation, and don't make the black kids angry and white girl bleed a lot. But still it keeps happening, and still way too many Asian people are pretending in public it doesn't happen when in private they know damn well what's happening. How about a little reminder from Sacramento?
The problem is our community are getting robbed, burglarized. They're getting their purses snatched. They're getting folks are coming into their house when they're at home and beating them up, taking money, taking jewelry.
And now we move on to the latest example of the fellas targeting Chinese people and the Asian people being in denial, deceit, and delusion about it, putting themselves and their fellow citizens in danger.
Watch this video here. On the left side of the screen, you're going to see a man come from out of nowhere with a broom and smash a window. It's not just property that's been damaged. People have been hurt. ABC 7 News anchor Dion Lim joining us live from the newsroom now with some examples and some possible solutions. Dion?
Yeah, Larry, that video is pretty hard to watch, right? This most recent violent crime, though, happened in the heart of Chinatown, where two senior community leaders were crossing the street when they were brutally attacked and knocked to the ground. All of it for a wristwatch. More than 200 community members packed the Chinatown Benevolent Association headquarters, fed up after this violent attack last week, where one of their leaders and another senior were crossing the street in the middle of the day and brutally attacked and knocked to the ground for a wristwatch.
This kind of outrageous behavior must be stopped.
One of the victims faced bruised and hesitant to go on camera, telling me today he now feels apprehensive being out in Chinatown. Supervisor Aaron Peskin says it took more than 30 minutes for an ambulance to arrive. SFPD arrived within minutes.
As of last week, we've also increased our patrols, so we've extended the hours of our footbeat officers, so there's higher visibility.
More security cameras will also be installed within the next 6 weeks. In a neighborhood with nearly 1,000 merchants, this response couldn't have happened at a better time, citing frequent shoplifting and other neighborhood concerns. In the Central District, there have been 221 robbery incidents this year, 14 of them in Chinatown.
I have not had any outreach from the police captain at this point. Hopefully, we'll bridge that gap and get to know each other better.
Listen, that woman says, she's getting to know the police better, and maybe that will improve things. That's okay. I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to get all excited. It's not a cop thing. It's a judge thing. when they catch the fellas, everybody now is down with the fact that the fellas are victims. So why are we putting them in jail? Why are we making them pay bail when they are the victims? So let's just let them out. This is something that every single person on the stage at the Democratic nomination debate was down with the other night. Criminal justice reform. No bail. Let people go. And once you catch them, recognize they have a history of 400 years of racism that forced them to commit that crime. So why are we going to put them in jail for that long? Bing, bam, boom. All of a sudden, you're back on the streets of San Francisco. That's what the judges are doing now. The cops can arrest these guys all night and day. Cops are good at arresting people.
Please, sir. I want some more.
But we've got to get the judges to figure that out. We've got to get the victims to figure this out. Even if that does make the black kids angry.
Angry.